Hey class, I had some people asking some questions about graphing the logarithm functions. This is going to be pretty similar to the video and the notes that I gave you for the exponential functions, but let's take a look at this real quick from chapter 4, starting in section 4.2, assignment 1 there. Here, I'll include this picture in the email I send out, just the instructions for plotting a basic log function. Again, once you pull up the screen to graph it, we're just going to click the log tool that looks like this time. It's right next to the exponential tool. Hit enter or just click anywhere in the graph, and then we'll use our slider in our box to change the curve if we need to. Okay, so let's take a look. Here's one of these problems from section 4.2 looking at. Let me close that for now. So let's look at this one. The function is the natural, no, let's go back one. Let's start with a basic one first. Okay, so we have y equals log base 3 of x. Okay, so once you find your values in your table, if this was, graphing it by hand or whatever, you could graph using those points. But if we have to use our MyMathLab tool, again, what we're going to do is click this box right here, our logarithm tool. You can see it's selected. It tells you got the logarithm. It's right beside the exponential. So once you click the log tool, you can hit enter. It'll pop up just a general graph. Now again, the main thing to pay attention to is your base here to start with. We do not have base E. In our example, we have base 3. So I'll delete that and put a 3 and hit enter. And you can see my graph did shift down just a tad. Now, looking at this problem, I do not have any transformations, stretch, shifts, reflections, anything. So I would not need to do anything to any of these other boxes. I would just hit save. And again, we can see we graphed it correctly. And then you can fill in for your domain and range. Now, if we look at that next question, you can see that it does have a -3 in here, so it is going to have a little bit of a transformation. So we'll look at that. Okay, so once again, and you can use your calculator here to find the values for natural log of x minus 3. You're just plugging these x values in for x. So like natural log of 4 minus 3 would be the same as natural log of 1, and which would be 0. And then 6 minus 3 would be 3. So the natural log of 3 is 1.1, and so on. When we go to graph this one, again, we would hit the log tool, hit enter. Now my base, and remember natural logs have an understood base E. It doesn't show anything right over here, but it is an E. So we would type E, enter. You can see my graph shifted. Okay, so now what does the -3 tell me? Okay, so as we look, I'm going to send a link to this web page, just some basic transformation of log functions. I'll send you the link to this page. You can use it. When a constant c is added or subtracted inside the parentheses, now again, it's inside the parentheses, it results in a horizontal shift. Now with horizontal shifts, we have to remember that whatever number c is, it's actually going to move the graph in the opposite direction of the sign on c. So if it's a +3, it would actually shift it left 3, or -3 is what we would enter. If it shifts it right, x minus 3, it's actually going to shift it +3 places to the right. So we would put a 3. Okay, so let's look at ours. So once I hit, let me click on that tool to bring my box back up. Okay, so I've got my base E already entered. Now in my example, I have -3. So again, when it's a horizontal shift, it means you're going to shift it the opposite of my middle sign. So instead of going -3, the -3 actually means that I'm going to shift it +3 places. So in the horizontal shift, I would put a +3, hit enter, and you can see that it shifts my graph over. And if I save it and check it, we do have it correct. Okay, and then you can do your domain and range from there. Take a look at all this. Again, I'll send out a picture of those instructions. I'll send out this video, and I'll send a link to that web page that talks about the transformations and what they mean. If you have any questions, though, please feel free, email me, give me a call, give me a text. Good luck.